If you're watching this video right now, I know exactly what you might be feeling. Maybe you saw a headline that made your heart sink. Maybe a friend sent you a message saying everything is changing. Maybe you're wondering if your visa is still safe, if your green card application is at risk, or if new rules are about to turn your life upside down. I want you to take a deep breath, because that's exactly why we're here today. In the next 13 minutes, we're going to walk through what is actually happening with U.S. immigration right now. What is real, what is rumor, and most importantly, what has not changed. You deserve clarity, not confusion. You deserve facts, not fear. So let's do this together, calmly and carefully. So here we are, on December 25th, 2025. And the internet is buzzing with claims about green cards, visas, and travel rules. Some people are saying everything is different now. Others are panicking about new restrictions, and honestly, I completely understand why you might feel overwhelmed. Immigration is already stressful enough without conflicting information making it worse. But here's the truth we need to start with. U.S. immigration law does not change overnight. It doesn't change because of a single tweet, a viral post, or even a political speech. Real legal changes require official processes, formal announcements, regulatory reviews, and implementation timelines. So before we react, we need to understand what is actually enforceable right now and what is still just discussion, proposal, or speculation. Let me be very clear about something important. As of today, December 25th, 2025, the core structure of U.S. immigration law remains intact. Green card categories, visa classifications, lawful permanent resident rights, citizenship eligibility, work authorization processes, and travel regulations are all still governed by the same federal statutes and USCIS policies that were in place before the holiday season. That doesn't mean nothing is happening in the immigration world. It means we need to carefully separate what is real from what is being exaggerated or misunderstood. So what exactly is causing all this noise right now? Over the past few weeks, there have been several things happening simultaneously. First, we've seen ongoing discussions in Congress about potential immigration reform bills. Some of these bills propose changes to visa caps, green card backlogs, work permit rules, or border enforcement. But here's what you absolutely must understand. A bill being proposed is not the same as a bill being passed. A bill being passed is not the same as a law being implemented. And a law being implemented still requires regulatory guidance, agency coordination, and effective dates that can be months or even years away. So when you see a headline that says, "New immigration bill introduced," that does not mean your status is affected today. It means lawmakers are debating ideas, and most proposed bills never become law at all. Second, we've seen administrative announcements from agencies like USCIS and the Department of Homeland Security about processing updates, fee adjustments, interview requirements, or documentation changes. These are operational updates, not fundamental legal changes. For example, USCIS may announce that certain application forms are being updated, or that processing times for specific visa categories are increasing due to staffing or backlogs. These announcements are important, and they do affect timelines and procedures, but they don't suddenly make your existing visa invalid or your green card disappear. They also don't change your eligibility criteria unless a formal rule change goes through the required public notice and comment period, which can take many months. Third, and this is where a lot of confusion comes from, we've seen a surge of social media posts claiming that new restrictions are already in effect. Some posts say certain visas are being canceled. Others claim that green card holders can no longer travel. Some even suggest that entire immigration categories are being eliminated. And I want to address this head-on, because this is where misinformation does the most damage. If a major change to U.S. immigration policy were actually happening right now, It would be announced officially on government websites like USCIS.gov, the State Department's travel website, or DHS announcements. It would not first appear on TikTok, Instagram, or in a forwarded WhatsApp message. It would be covered extensively by verified news organizations, immigration law firms, and advocacy groups with direct access to official sources. And most importantly, it would include clear implementation dates, affected categories, and instructions for impacted individuals. So let's talk about green cards specifically, because this is one of the biggest concerns people have right now. If you already have a green card, your lawful permanent resident status has not changed. Your rights as a permanent resident are protected by federal law. You still have the right to live and work anywhere in the United States. You still have the right to travel internationally, as long as you follow the rules about maintaining continuous residence and not abandoning your status. You still have the path to U.S. citizenship after meeting the required years of permanent residency. No executive order, no policy memo, and no proposed bill has altered these fundamental rights for existing green card holders. Now, if you're in the process of applying for a green card, whether through family sponsorship, employment, asylum, or another category, your application is still being processed according to current law. Yes, there are backlogs. Yes, processing times can be frustratingly long. Yes, priority dates and visa bulletin movements can be unpredictable. But these are long-standing challenges in the U.S. immigration system, not new developments from this week. If your case is pending, continue following the instructions from USCIS, respond to any requests for evidence, attend your interviews, and maintain your current lawful status while you wait. If you're worried about your specific case, especially if there have been gaps in your status, criminal issues, or other complicating factors, that's when you need to consult with a licensed immigration attorney who can review your individual circumstances. Let's move to visas, because this is another area where rumors spread quickly. If you're currently in the United States on a valid visa, whether that's an H-1B work visa, an F-1 student visa, a J-1 exchange visitor visa, an L-1 intra-company transfer visa, or any other non-immigrant category, your status remains valid as long as you continue to comply with the conditions of that visa. That means maintaining your employment for work visas, staying enrolled full-time for student visas, and not overstaying your authorized period. There have been no blanket cancellations of existing visas. There have been no mass revocations. If your visa were being revoked, you would receive official written notice from the U.S. government, not a rumor online. For people applying for new visas or renewing existing ones, the process continues as usual. Visa interview wait times vary by country and by season, and yes, some consulates are experiencing delays. But this is not a new policy change. This is the reality of visa processing, especially during high-demand periods. If you have an upcoming visa interview, prepare your documents carefully, be honest in your interview, and bring all required evidence of your ties to your home country and your intent to return after your authorized stay in the United States. If your visa application is denied, you have the right to understand the reason, and in some cases, you can reapply or seek a waiver depending on the grounds of denial. Now let's address travel, because this is causing a lot of anxiety, especially during the holiday season when many people want to visit family abroad. If you're a U.S. citizen, your right to travel internationally and return to the United States is constitutionally protected. If you're a green card holder, you can travel outside the United States, but you need to be mindful of how long you stay abroad. Extended absences can raise questions about whether you intend to maintain permanent residence. Generally, trips shorter than 6 months are safer, and if you need to be outside the U.S. for more than a year, you should apply for a re-entry permit before you leave. If you're on a visa, make sure your visa stamp is still valid for re-entry, your passport is not expiring soon, and you have any required documentation from your employer or school. Here's something really important that I want every viewer to understand. Permanent residency and U.S. citizenship provide long-term security that temporary visas simply do not. If you're eligible to apply for a green card, pursuing that path gives you stability, freedom, and protection that visa holders don't have. If you already have a green card and you're eligible for citizenship, naturalization gives you even greater rights, including the ability to vote, sponsor family members more easily, and never worry about losing your status. These pathways exist, they are still available, and they remain the best way to build a permanent future in the United States. I also want to talk about what you should not do right now. Do not make major decisions based on panic. Do not abandon your visa application because you read something alarming online. Do not cancel travel plans based on unverified claims. Do not pay money to anyone who promises they can guarantee a green card or visa approval, because no one can guarantee that. Do not trust immigration advice from random social media accounts, even if they have a lot of followers. And please, do not believe that the U.S. immigration system has secretly changed all its rules without any official announcement. That's not how government works. That's not how law works. What you should do is stay informed through reliable sources. Check USCIS.gov regularly for official updates. Sign up for case status notifications if you have a pending application. Follow verified immigration attorneys and accredited organizations that base their information on legal analysis, not speculation. If you have specific questions about your case, consult with a licensed immigration lawyer who can review your documents and give you personalized advice. And remember, general information like what we're sharing in this video is helpful for understanding the big picture. But it's not a substitute for legal counsel tailored to your unique situation. Let me also address something that comes up a lot in comments. People ask, but what if things do change soon? What if new rules are coming? And here's my answer. Yes, immigration policy can change. Administrations change. Congresses change. Priorities shift. But when real changes happen, they are announced officially. They go through implementation periods, and they include transition rules that explain how pending cases will be handled. You will have time to understand what's happening and how it affects you. You will not wake up one morning and find out your visa was invalidated overnight without any notice. That's not how the system works. And if you're staying informed through trustworthy sources, you'll know about changes as they're actually happening, not based on rumors before they even exist. I want to take a moment to speak directly to those of you who are feeling really scared right now. Maybe you've been in the U.S. for years, and you're worried everything you've built could disappear. Maybe you're supporting your family back home, and you can't afford to lose your work authorization. Maybe you're a student who invested everything in your education, and you're terrified about what comes next. I see you. I hear you. And I want you to know that while uncertainty is real, panic doesn't help. What helps is understanding your rights, following the rules, keeping your documents organized, seeking professional guidance when needed, and remembering that millions of people successfully navigate the U.S. immigration system every single year. You're not alone in this journey. As we wrap up today's video, I want to leave you with a few key takeaways. First, as of today, December 25, 2025, the fundamental structure of U.S. immigration law has not suddenly changed. Green cards, visas, and travel regulations are still governed by existing federal statutes and USCIS policies. Second, always distinguish between proposals, discussions, and actual enforceable law. Just because something is being talked about doesn't mean it's happening right now. Third, rely on official sources and licensed professionals for immigration information, not social media rumors. And fourth, if you're eligible for permanent residency or citizenship, pursuing those paths gives you the strongest foundation for your future in the United States. We created USA Immigration Today because we know how confusing and stressful immigration can be. We're committed to bringing you accurate, thoughtful, fact-based information that respects your intelligence and your emotions. If this video helped you understand what's really going on and gave you some peace of mind, Please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Immigration news moves fast, and we're here to help you make sense of it all. Give this video a like if you found it valuable, and please share it with anyone in your life who might be feeling worried or confused about their immigration status right now. They'll appreciate having reliable information. And finally, drop a comment below. Tell us what immigration topics you want us to cover next, share your questions, or let us know if there's misinformation you've been seeing that you'd like us to address. We read every comment, and your input helps us create the content you actually need. Thank you so much for being here today. And remember, stay informed, stay calm, and keep moving forward. We'll see you in the next video.